everyone. Welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Jen. I'm one of the librarians at the Downtown Library, and we're so excited to have you here today to hear stories and sing songs and have fun while we learn stuff. Today, we are going to be hearing stories and maybe singing a song that will help us to learn the letter G. What do you know about the letter G? Do you know what sound it makes? Can you remember? G. That's right. It makes the G sound. Can you do that? G, G. It's kind of back in your throat, that kind of sound. G. It also is one of those tricky letters that sometimes sounds like J. So it makes a couple of different sounds, and we're going to hear those in some of our stories today. But first, it's always nice and polite to say hello to our friends. So get out your waving hand, your pointer finger, and sing along with me. You ready? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you this morning? I am fine and I hope you are too. I am fine and I hope you are too. I am fine and I hope you are too. Hope you are too this morning. Reach up high and wave your hands. Reach up high and wave your hands. Reach up high and wave your hands. Wave your hands this morning. Bend right over and touch your toes. Bend right over and touch your toes. Bend right over and touch your toes. Touch your toes this morning. Now we're ready to have some fun. Now we're ready to have some fun. Now we're ready to have some fun. It's story time this morning. Good job. You seem very with it today. Okay, let's talk about the letter G. Let's look at what it looks like. Are you ready? This is a big G. It's a capital G. It goes at the beginning of a name. So if your name is Garrett, or if your name is Gertie, or if your name is Gretchen, that is the letter you're going to see at the beginning of your name. That's what it's going to look like. Or if the word that you're using is at the beginning of a sentence, a bunch of words together, that's what it's going to look like. Can you put your pointer finger in the air and draw it? Can you draw that in the air? I'm probably going backwards for you. I don't know how it looks for you, but draw it in your air. It looks like this. Good job. This one's kind of a fun one to draw. It's got the big circle and then a line. I like it. Now, this is what the little G looks like. This is what you're going to see if it's in the middle of your name or if it's like not the first letter in your name. So if your name is Peggy, there would be two G's in the middle of there. Or it's going to be at the beginning of a word and that's not the first word in a sentence. This one's also really fun to write because it has a circle and then it has a little half circle that goes all the way down. Can you do that with your finger in the air? Can you draw it? Good job. Now, anytime that you see a big G or a little g out in the world, like on a traffic sign or in a book, you can point to it and tell your grown up that is a G and it makes the G sound because you're so smart. Now, let's look at some pictures that are G pictures and see if you can think of the words. Are you ready? This is something that we see all over the place in Boise, Idaho. What is this? What is that? I bet you've seen it in the park. I bet you've seen one maybe crossing the street. They like to cross the street in front of cars sometimes. What is it? It's a goose. Goose. It's a goose. And usually there are a lot of them together, huh? This one has a couple of words that you can use for it, but one of them is a G word. Can you think of it? It's like when you've finished something and you're going to put it in a kind of can. What kind of can do you put it in? Some people call it a trash can and some people call it a garbage can. Oh, there are trucks that carry this too, huh? Garbage trucks. Garbage. Yep. Now, this one is kind of tricky. I have a couple of kind of tricky ones today. This one's a little tricky because what is this? It's a frog, right? Frog. That doesn't really sound like a G word, does it? No. But what color is this frog? Green. That's right. And that's a G word. Green. Good job. What about this guy? What is this? It has horns, and sometimes they're furry, sometimes they're very small, and sometimes they're big. They eat a lot of things. It's a goat! Goat! And I think one of these is going to turn up in one of our books later, so you'll have to pay attention to that. Now, here's another tricky one. What's this? What is this? It's a dog. Dog. There is a G in dog, though, right? At the end. But that's not really a G word. But what is that doggy sitting on? What is this stuff? Grass. Good job. That is definitely a G word. Grass. Excellent work. So smart, you smarties. All right. Our first story is called On Account of the Gum. Gum. Have you ever chewed gum? Maybe not. But if you haven't, it gets really, really sticky. And if you're not careful, sometimes it can get in your hair. I mean, it's pretty terrible when it gets in your hair. It's really hard to get out. And look, they've got some in their hair. My gosh. This is Words and Pictures by Adam Rex. Uh-oh. It looks like somebody fell asleep when they're chewing their gum. Never do that. On account of the gum. Look. That's the gum right there that you got in your hair. On account of the gum that you got in your hair, your dad said, sit still, and your sister said, duck, and you sat very still. What are they going to do? Still, the scissors got stuck in the gum that you got in your hair. Oh, no. Okay. We went on some websites, and all of them swear if you want to get scissors and gum out of hair, you take 2 sticks of butter and smear them along, and I see. It appears that the websites were wrong. Don't give me that look, because a lot of times the websites are wrong. Your aunt said she knew how to get the gum out from this tip in a book she was reading about in the paper or something. She couldn't say where. The point is, that's why you have grass in your hair. There's another G word, grass. But would you want grass in your hair? Stuck there? Your grandpa, it's another good G word. Your grandpa, who said that your aunt was mistaken, is mostly to blame for the noodles and bacon. It's all in this bacony noodly mass with the scissors, gum, hair, sticks of butter, and grass. Your rabbit eats grass. Because of the grass that you got in your hair, I assumed that your rabbit could help us in there, but your rabbit just sat like it thinks it's a hat. So I thought, oh, it'll leave if I bring in the cat. Look at all of that. I'm prepared to admit I was wrong about that. Oh, no. Oh, I know what to do. It's a little bit mean, but the cat always gets really scared when I clean. Just watch. She'll run off and hide under the bed if the vacuum comes anywhere close to your head. Do you think that the vacuum's going to scare it all away? Wait, no. I'm thinking of the old cat. Look. Your aunt just came back and she has a new take. It's cake. She thinks she can fix things with cake. Don't worry. We stopped her and showed her the door. I doubt she'll be coming around anymore. Though the cake that she made you wound up on the floor. That reminds me. Happy birthday. All right, let's get serious. This is the plan. We blow the gum out with a powerful fan. Plus, every few seconds, we'll pop a balloon. And the guy with the bees said he'd get them here soon. And oh, I hear sirens. The firemen came. They complained when we called, but they came just the same with their hoses and one of those dogs and a cop and a big pot of chili. They're ready to stop. Oh, no. You've had enough. Get out, please. Oh. So everybody leaves, even the bees. Geez, the gum jumped out of your hair. Geez, rude. Whoa. So that's the solution. Well, what do you know? Too bad about all of the rest of it, though. The rest of the stuff that's still stuck in your hair. Ooh, now your ant is all stuck up in there. How'd that happen? Anyway, you'd better get to school. Because otherwise you're going to miss picture day on account of the gum. The end. Look at all the pictures from picture day with all the stuff stuck in their hair. Oh my goodness, that was a whole adventure. Do you think that would really happen? I really don't want to find out. I am never going to sleep with gum in my mouth. Don't ever do that. All right. There were some good G words in that book. Gum, grass, grandpa. Very nice G words. Our next book is called Giraffes Can't Dance. Remember when we talked about how sometimes it makes the just sound, G's? Yeah, this one in giraffe, it's at the beginning of the word giraffe, and it makes the just sound. Yeah. And this is by Giles Andre and Guy Parker Reese. Both G names. There couldn't be a better book for today, could there? Giraffes Can't Dance. I wonder why. Gerald, also a G name, was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Uh-oh. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked toward the floor, but the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool." "Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." That is not very nice, by the way. Don't do that. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before. So sad and so alone. Do you see him way up there, all by himself? Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. "But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." Can you see the cricket? He's kind of hard to see. He's right there. "Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is the branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to." With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. Look at him go. He threw his legs out sideways, and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leaped up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. "I am dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I am dancing!" Gerald cried. Then one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle. We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen. Look at his moves." My gosh. "How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." The end. Do you think you could do all of Gerald's dance moves? I mean, you probably have some really awesome dance moves of your own, huh? I love Gerald. He's such a good giraffe. And all those fun G words that make the just sound. Gerald, giraffe. So many great G words. Okay. Now I have somebody to help me with this next part, and I think you probably have met him before. He's in a lot of different books and some cartoons and things. His name is Pete the Cat. You ever seen Pete the Cat before? That's him. And Pete has put on his favorite shirt. This is his favorite shirt because it has 4 groovy buttons. Gaga, groovy buttons. Starts with a G. They are 4 big, beautiful, colorful buttons, and they're his favorites. They're so much his favorite that he has a song that he sings. Let me sing it, and then you can help at home because we're going to sing it a lot. And it goes, my buttons, my 4 groovy buttons, my buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. We should count them and make sure that there are 4. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Uh-oh. But then, pop! One of them flies off and rolls away. What? How many do we have left? 4 minus 1 leaves 1, 2, 3 buttons. Does Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He just keeps singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Can you sing it? My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Good job. So then he was riding his skateboard. Look at that. Riding his skateboard along, and then pop! Another button flew off and rolled away. How many are left? Was 3 minus 1 is 1, 2 buttons left. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He just kept singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Then he was eating some ice cream, like you do, when all of a sudden, pop! Oh no! Another button fell off and rolled away. How many does that leave? We had 2 buttons and 1 popped off, and now there's just 1 button. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He just kept singing his song. My buttons, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Then he was surfing, because this cat gets around. He was surfing on his surfboard when all of a sudden, pop! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many does that leave? We had 1 button and 1 button fell off, and now there's 0 buttons. There's no buttons. Wow. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He just looked down at his buttonless shirt and saw his belly button. And then he sang, my button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. And that's the best. Things come and things go, but we always just keep singing our songs, don't we? The end. Do you have a favorite shirt like Pete does? Does it have groovy buttons on it? I like a groovy button. Very nice. And it's a G word. I love it. Well, since we were so good at counting buttons, I now need you to help me count something else. Can you do that? We're going to count goats. How many goats can one book have? What do you think? Let's find out. This is by Mem Fox and Jan Thomas. Jan Thomas is one of my favorite picture book writers. Here we see a mountain goat frisking in the sun. And here we see a city goat going for a run. But can we count the seaside goats? I think there's only one. Do you see any more? I just see one goat eating an umbrella. Here we see a drinking goat, and here a goat is eating. But can we count the little goats lost and loudly bleating? How many goats? 1, 2. Here we see an airport goat looking for her cases. But can we count the pilot goats with goggles on their faces? How many goats with goggles? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Here we see a show-off goat playing on the bars. I think he's going to bonk his head. But can we count the rowdy goats careering round in cars? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one's upside down. Here we see an overgoat, and this one's going under. But can we count the crossing goats terrified of thunder? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we see a sandpit goat playing with his toys. But can we count the trumpet goats making all the noise? Let's start over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be so loud. Here we see a summer goat with nothing left to mow because he ate all the grass. But can we count the winter goats huddled in the snow? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. I don't think he's going to like it. Here we see a fireman goat climbing through the smoke. But can we count the rescued goats trying not to choke? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that one saved the cake. Here we see a soccer goat roaring at the ref. It's not very nice. Don't do that. But can we count the cheering goats who must be going deaf? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because this one's upside down. Here we see the story goats and all their shining eyes. Can you count their pricked up ears? How many ears do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. You can? I'm not surprised because you're smarties. Look at that. There were so many goats in that book doing all kinds of interesting things. Wow. Counting all the goats. Okay, our last story is about a little green donkey. Have you ever seen a green donkey? I didn't think they came in green. This is by Anushka Ayapus. The little green donkey. Does he look green to you? He looks kind of gray. Hello there, I'm Little Donkey, and I love eating grass. Grass is my absolute favorite. My mom is always trying to get me to eat other foods. Little Donkey, please have a little tiny taste, she says. No thanks, I say. A life of eating grass is just fine for me. Look at all those foods Mom's trying to get him to eat. Grass is just so juicy and so zingy, so sweet and tangy, flavory, fresh, and green. Wow, look, what's happening to him? Even my pillow is made of grass so that when I wake up, I can start eating it right away. I really am the happiest little donkey when my tummy is full of grass. He's green. Grass makes me very full and very thirsty. Time for a drink of water. Ooh, ooh, grass, you are so green. In the sun, you have a sheen. I like to eat you day and night. Just give me one more juicy bite. I like it that all these people have songs for their favorite things. What has happened? Is that me? Am I green? Whoa. My ears, my tummy, my legs, my arms, my tail, they're all green, and I am a gigantic herb. Oh my gosh. Oh no, my mom will find out that I've eaten too much grass. What can I do? Oh, this mud will hide the green. And these leaves will help. Yes, nobody will ever guess. I am a genius. Do you think it's going to work? Little donkey, you're all green, says Mom. You have finally eaten too much grass. It's really time to try and eat some new foods. I bet you'll like them just as much as grass, she says. I'm not convinced there's anything more delicious than grass. Oranges are too juicy. Ugh. Watermelon is too full of seeds. Pew pew. Broccoli is too green. Yuck. Apples. No, thank you. Grapes. Pfft. Carrots. Carrots are so delicious. Such orangey, crunchy, crispy amazingness. Carrots are my favorite. Uh-oh, what's starting to happen? Carrots make me very full and very thirsty. Time for a drink of water. Carrots, you are so crunchy. Carrots make me feel so munchy. Carrots for you, carrots for me. Carrots, oh, carrots are all I can see. He's very good at those songs. Great. What does he see? What color did he turn? Oh my goodness. He's all orange now. Wow. Have you ever eaten one food so much that you turned that color? What color is your favorite food? I think I would turn whatever color toast is, which I probably already am. Anyway, that is all all the G word stories and songs and things I have for us today. But before we go, let's sing our goodbye song with our signs, our sign language. Do you remember them? This is the sign for more. Put your hands together and tap it like this for more. And then when we talk about being together, stick your thumbs up, put them together, and twirl together. When we talk about being happy, this is our sign for happy. And when we talk about friends, we're going to take our fingers and make them friends like this, and then twirl them this way. Are you ready? The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. And I'm happier because I got to hang out with you today. I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.